out there. How's everybody doing? Some old school bass thumping its way along. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to hopefully something that should be fun. I've done one of these before with NASCAR Legends. Back for an attempt, I guess we'd say, hopefully a successful one at a full distance race. Let me switch me into view here. Hello, hopefully NASCAR Legends. There it is. Always gives me trouble trying to get these things to work. But got it to show up on OBS. Let's cross our fingers it stays that way and everything continues to work. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. It's been a hectic few weeks for me, but wanted to do some NASCAR Legends. I've been having a great time painting cars for this game, and I had said I did a video a couple weeks ago of a or maybe more like 3 or 4 weeks ago now, of a 1968 set of cars that I put together, and I didn't stop there. I always wanted there to be multiple seasons for this game, especially in that Grand National, the end of the Grand National era of NASCAR. Late 60s, up through 71 was the last year of Grand National, and 72 is when Winston came in and really changed things. So this game, originally having the 1970 season, thought it'd be nice to fill it out a little bit. So I did a 1968 set, and then I followed that up with a 1969 set, and now we've got a 1970 set that we're going to take a look at here today and hopefully do a full distance race around Talladega, which could be really fun. It could also be very boring, and I guess we'll have to find that out together. We'll click on driver info. So I've got my 1970 car set enabled, and if you do play NASCAR Legends and you want to try this set out, it's on this little website I put together that you can find in the description of the stream. But this is the full set. It's 65 cars. I went a little overboard with this one, and in my opinion, it's got all of the drivers that are really notable from the whole season. We've got a list of 43 that's the max that you can have enabled at a time, and then we've got 22 alternate drivers, some really fun ones that won't be able to take a look at all of them here today, but really hopefully everything that you'd need to do a 1970 season in this game and feel like you're seeing all the notables. I did set up a player car, which is something I wanted to do. I want to go back and do that for the other sets as well, but it's the making sure I'm still streaming. It said it stopped for some reason, but there we go. This player car is Buddy Baker drove it, but it's a Chrysler factory car essentially, built by Ray Nichols, and it's the first stock car to ever break the 200 mile per hour barrier, and it did it around Talladega. So this is the car we're going to drive today, and I guess we got to give ourselves a name for this, and I'll think of names. I'll watch the chat if anybody wants to think of a good name for our driver today, but we'll override it as we go through some of the cars. But we'll be driving this. This is the player car for the set, which I feel is pretty fitting. But of course, we got drivers like Bobby Isaac, who won the championship that year. Bobby Allison, who we found out last night, just passed away, which is I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. It's somebody that was so notable in the sport. But we've got his great Coca-Cola sponsor. It's the Mario Rossi car, and I guess fitting that he's right up front. We'll see. We'll hope Bobby does well today. I think he did quite well at a lot of these races in 1970. James Hilton in a Rex Mays tribute car. Richard Petty, of course, in his blue Superbird. It was a good season for Petty, because Petty always had good seasons back these days, 18 wins, but he won most of them on the short tracks. He didn't do so well himself on the speedways. He also got hurt pretty badly mid-season and had to step out of the car for a few races, actually. We got Neil Castells, though, Soapy. And so for this car set, I redid every single car and did a lot of work on the car shapes and stuff. We'll talk about that as we go today, but a lot of cool drivers. One unfortunate thing about NASCAR Legends is all of the Chryslers, so the Plymouths and the Dodges, You can't have a mix of some with wings and some without wings. It's based on the track. So Jabe Thomas here definitely didn't have a Plymouth Superbird, but he will be driving one today with the nose and everything. But he would have driven a '69 model, I believe. John Johnny McDriver. That's the leading one right now. Benny Parsons' rookie season in 1970, coming from ARCA though, so he was quite experienced at this point, and he did quite well. Dave Marcus, of course, got raced for forever. Frank Warren, Cecil Gordon. We got John Sears in here. Dick Brooks, really good driver, especially these few years, but didn't really have the equipment to do it. And Wendell Scott, of course, declined a little bit in 1970. Wasn't quite as competitive as in 68 and 69. He had an older car at this point, so he just wasn't able to quite keep up. Bill Champion's in here. J.D. McDuffie. This picture of JD's quite funny. I've gone ahead and I wrote bios for every driver. I found pictures of every single driver. I'm really proud that I was able to actually find. There's a couple that were really hard to find, but got the teams. I entered all the statistics. I tried to make it as complete as possible, to represent the whole series and the season. The original game only came with 20 real cars, so now we've got 65 from this season. Carl, how would you say that? Carl Arborate. It's carburetor, but I'm trying to figure out how to even say it. Bill Seifert's in here. Henley Gray, Friday Hassler, of course. Joe Frasone. I love this car. This is a really cool looking car. And stuff I found about Joe, I included it in the bio, but apparently he liked to fight people. That was his thing. So he wasn't the I guess the best character to hang around with. Bill Dennis, Rookie of the Year. I don't know how Rookie of the Year actually worked because Bill was not the highest placing rookie of the season, but I think it had something to do with top 10 finishes. Maybe he got 5, so I think that's how he won. But I think Benny Parsons did quite a bit better in 1970. We got Ed in here, J.C. Spencer, Bill Sherry, Raymond Williams, Larry Balmo. This car, even for the 1970 car sets for NASCAR 2003 and all the cars I've ever seen of him here, none of them ever had the real paint scheme that he drove. So this one, you can actually see it in the picture of him there. One of the not great pictures, but it's the only picture I could find of Larry. And I got a lot of help from folks online. Bob Talladega, that might be who we drive as today. I got a lot of help from folks online, though, finding the pictures, so I appreciate that. But this is the best we could do for Larry. But you can see he's in front of a black car there. I don't think he ever had a gray and blue one like a lot of them are depicted as. Johnny Halford is in here. Oh, Brooks. We got, and then we get down to the bottom of the list. So the way I've got the entry list set up in this is so that on the short tracks you'll race against the full season cars, and then the Wood brothers and Cale Yarborough and all these guys, they would only race the speedways. So that's why they're so low in the list, is because the way the tracks work. If you run 30 cars on the short track, you'll just get the full season guys, and then you'll get the speedway cars on the ones that allow for more entries. A little more realistic. It's not perfect though. But Cale here with the Mercury, one of only like 2 or 3 Mercuries in the entire season. Wasn't too many. David Pearson as well. It was super dominant 68, 69, but he took a step back in 1970, and they just raced part-time. Holman and Moody was on their way out. Factory support was ending in right around this era. Ford especially started pulling back, so he did not do quite as well as he had done in previous seasons. Still getting, I think, a single win on the season. And this game always had his car depicted as the 1968 version of it. So I've got the actual 70 version here with the red outlines and stuff, which is cool. Pete Hamilton. Pete won the real Talladega 500. In fact, he won both of the races at Talladega in 1970. He also won the Daytona 500, driving a second car for Petty, and he was just phenomenal. He came out of nowhere almost. He won Rookie of the Year in 68, raced, I think, in the Baby Grand Series in 69, and then had an amazing 70 season for running only 16 races. But it's pretty remarkable. Cool to have Pete in here. Buddy Baker, of course. I love the Cotton Owens number 6 car. Charlie Glotzback for Nichols Engineering. Buddy Arrington. Buddy actually had a Dodge Daytona. I think he wrecked it in his first race with it, but he actually did have a proper Daytona during the season. Got Don Tarr. This game has a very limited color palette. In fact, I'll show you if we jump into the paint shop. It sounds like a lot of colors to say 256 colors, but this is all you get to choose from when you paint the cars. And there's really not. This car is supposed to be like fluorescent green, and there's no fluorescent green. So I tried my very best with this one. That was difficult though. Dr. Dontari was a doctor, a medical doctor. Cuckoo Marlin, Clifton, of course, in the '07. We got Jim Vandiver. He drove for a few different teams. We're getting towards the bottom. Roy Main, he might be the last one. Oh no, Roy Main, then Donnie Allison with Matthews Racing, Banjo Matthews' car. Leroy Yarborough. Leroy, such a sad story. I learned a lot about him doing all these car sets, but he had probably the best season that you could possibly have in 1969. He won like every big race that season. Um, the World 600, the Daytona 500, all of the super speedways, and then he had a few accidents that just he had really bad concussions was really what it was, but people didn't quite know at the time. And the 70 was his last real notable season. He raced a bit in 71, but that was it for him there. We got Ron Keselowski as well, one of the Keselowski brothers. And that's it. So that's the 43 cars we'll be racing today. It is not the real entry list for the Talladega 500. They actually ran 50 cars in the race. So we can't even do that in the game. There's also a few just one-offs that I didn't paint that were in the race itself. I love all these names. Babe McIrvine. There was a race car driver that raced in USAC named Babe Stop, which I think is the best name for a race car driver. I'll go through a few of the ones we won't be seeing today because I really like some of these. It's fun to throw in some of the USAC cars that would have raced at Riverside. And if you didn't know, USAC had its own stock car series in 1960s and the 70s. And so Roger McCluskey was quite a popular driver. He did really well on the USAC side. He did race at Riverside a few years with NASCAR in his Roadrunner Plymouth with the little bird on the side, which is great. All right. Jim Vandiver also with the Ray Fox 3. Ray Fox started pulling back in 1970. Got Ramos Stott. I love this picture of him, which is great. Got Roy Tyner's Pontiac. AJ Foyt won Riverside in 1970 with this was his USAC car with Jack Boucher, and he raced, I think, in the Daytona 500 as well. We got Freddie Fryer in the 14. Richard Brickhouse drove this car more, but I have him in a different car, so I figured we'll throw Freddie in here. We got Fred Lorenzen made a comeback. This is one of the cars he drove. But the one he drove for most of the season, the Piper-sponsored Dodge Daytona. Wayne Smith, this is the only one I'm not 100% sure that's Wayne Smith in the photo, but I think it is. I think his uniform says Wayne Smith, so I'm hopeful that's him. He was the hardest one to find a photo of, really a back marker of the time. But Bugsy Stevens, modified star. We've got H.B. Bailey in here. Dan Gurney. I didn't realize this was a Petty car. The 42. I knew he switched to Plymouth and drove a Plymouth Superbird in 1970, going from the Wood Brothers for years. But yeah, it's actually a Petty car, which was quite interesting. And Marty Robbins, the music star. If you didn't know, Marty Robbins actually raced in NASCAR. Big Iron is one of his most famous songs, especially these days. And yeah, he drove only one race in 1970. He did a couple earlier than that, and he did a little bit more in the mid 70s. But it's cool to have Marty in here. Tiny Lund, not so tiny Lund. We got Richard Brickhouse in Tom Pistone's car. I think Jim Hurtubise also drove this car a bit. We got Haas Ellington in there, Dick May as well. Talmadge Prince. Talmadge actually was killed in 1970 in Daytona, and thought it'd be good to have his car in there just because it's kind of a tribute. But yeah, quite a sad story. I think he bought the car off of James Hilton. As James went to Ford for 1970, and yeah, died in the qualifying race. He didn't really even get much of a shot at it. Sonny Hutchins drove with Junie Donlevy's number 90. Ray Elder was one of the Winston West guys, but he did drive at Riverside, and he came east for a few races, so it's good to have him in here. Fred Lorenzen drove for Junior Johnson at the Southern 500. I was doing some to get all these paint schemes and stuff. There's just simply not pictures of all these cars, so I watched like every single race that exists, all the footage from the 1970 season. And the Southern 500, I couldn't figure out why Junior Johnson's car was suddenly maroon because Leroy's is obviously white. And I found out that Fred Lorenzen did a one-off. He I think had some trouble early on, so he didn't even really feature much in the race. But yeah, I always found that interesting since Leroy did the rest of the season. I was wondering if it's because Leroy was hurt at that point, but I couldn't confirm that. So if anybody knows, I'd love to know. Dick Bound in here, one of those Pacific Northwest drivers. Ken Meisenhelder, who this is another car that I've never actually seen this paint scheme recreated at all. So I think we got the real one here. I think it's back to Roger McCluskey. I wasn't going to go through every car, but I did, and I guess we'll have to live with that. It's going to be a long race today, so I do want to jump into things with the race. What did we settle on for a name here? Let me scroll back through some of y'all's comments. Let's see. Gorlock the Destroyer. Man, what a name. It is funny, like names like Scott Speed don't seem real, but they are. I like Kringle's name, Babe McIrvine. I hope that's not from something, but we'll choose that. Hope that's not from something that I'd regret choosing it for, but it's just kind of a fun name. To start off a new, I guess role play of sorts of somebody that we are. Let me get back down to chat here. Okay, it's not from something. Good. All right, so we're going to be racing as a Babe McIrvine, doing a one-off. This car didn't actually race in any races. There was an 88 Dodge Daytona, but I think it was a completely different car from this one. This was just kind of a special car for Chrysler. All right, we'll go single race. All right, so we're going to try to do 100%. This game has mechanical failures and everything, and they don't happen that frequently to the player, but it is disheartening when they do. So hopefully we don't get one today. We're going to run on 100% strength. I have adjusted the AI a little bit to hopefully be competitive and be a little bit quicker. It's going to be interesting to see if we have any issue keeping up at various stages or if we just blow them away. It can be what happens in these games or racing with this game. It's sometimes you'll just blow them away, or sometimes they'll be super fast compared to you. I know when we did Daytona back doing a live stream of this, that ended up being pretty competitive. So I'm hopeful for the same thing. Yeah, this game is a little janky. It's tough. I know some folks look to what I'm doing to be like, this is the best thing that's out there. This is not the best thing that's out there. I just enjoy it. It's just fun, kind of casual fun. So that's what we'll be keeping it for today. All right, let's go to the track. And I'm not going to do much practice, but I do want to make sure everything is working as we would expect. I have tried to so I did that video on lossless scaling, and I've tried to set stuff up here today in a way that we're going to be able to use that for the video. And so let me see if I can get it working and everything. And come into the race car here. All right, I think I've got it working. Yeah, so I'm going to be able to get the lossless scaling to work. So you'll all see this in 60 FPS today, which is great. I've had to, you'll see the box for the stats is up in the corner. I've been able to zoom in on the screen, and I just am clipping that as a part of the screen to put it up there so you can all see it. But hopefully this makes it look a bit better and easier to watch. Yeah, I'm actually using a custom sound pack. Let me know if you can't hear me at all. Using a custom sound pack for this today that hopefully I'll post at some point. There's a few of them floating around, but I've found the engine sound to be a little too high-pitched in it, so I've gone ahead and made my own. All right, I'm just going to do a lap or so to make sure everything's looking good. Lossless scaling is enabled, yeah, so hopefully it looks good. I found this game, though, you can crop it 16:9 because other than the black box, there is literally nothing on the top and the bottom of the screen. So there's really no problem in zooming in like that. I wish I could figure out how to move the black box or the little indicator box. I looked through, I spent too long trying to hex edit files to try to move that around, and I just couldn't get it. So That's still on the to-do. Hopefully someday I can figure out how to move that, because people have done it for NASCAR 2003 and stuff. All right, so it is Talladega, or it's actually Alabama International Motor Speedway, or Alabama Motor Speedway. Wasn't renamed Talladega until the 70s at some point, later in the 70s. But it is flat out when you're alone. Once you get into the draft, going into the corners especially, and especially as the tires begin to wear a bit, you have to lift. There's no way that you're going to be able to keep it flat out, or I can't. So that's really the trick in driving at this. The tires are going to burn off. We're going to have to pit every 22 laps or so for fuel and tires, and we'll try to play some strategy and see how I can do today. And hopefully we don't get too many cautions. But there should be some shenanigans along the way. I've done a few half-distance races here with this set as I've been working on it, and it's there's been some fun stuff happening. Car is exiting the pits. This is one of the tricky things. The AI in this game is not great. You find yourself kind of avoiding them most of the time, but all right, I'm gonna try to pit here and just to make sure I can do it. Let me know if the game needs to go up or down in volume. It should be pretty good, though. It's not too fun to listen to anyway. All right, we're going to have to do that like 8-9 times today during this race. All right, but we will get us back over here. All right, I just got to jump us into a different screen for the menus. All right. So let's jump into qualifying here, and hopefully we can do quite well. We'll watch the other cars qualify. We're going to be pretty far down the list. Our driver, Babe. Where are we? Oh, we're right towards the end. So David Pearson, 203. They're much faster than real life in here. I think the pole time was barely 199. All right, I'll turn it up a little bit. But Bobby Isaac takes it over, 203.3. I don't think I'm going to be able to get into the 200s. I think I'm going to be 197 maybe. Bobby Allison goes for qualifying second. Oh, not quite the pole for Bobby. Leroy's up there as well. Did all the ratings for the Carset. And I worked on it a bit more. I actually want to go back and redo the ratings on the 68 and 69 set to match so that they're kind of the same competitiveness. But I made these guys a little more aggressive so that they pass more. And I found it pretty fun. The big issue with the AI is getting around the slow traffic. But when there's not slow traffic, they're actually quite competitive and fun to race against once you learn their oddities. But it looks like Richard Petty on the pole now for the time being, and we'll be jumping in the car here to see what I can do. Jump back here. All right. Got it working. I'm always worried. Hopefully once we get into the race, I won't have to worry about it too much, but getting this thing working was not easy. I would love if a new game had classic cars. Turn up the engine a little bit. I would love if new games that came out had classic stuff in them. I think it seems crazy that they wouldn't take advantage of the history of the sport to include some fun cars and stuff, but I know they did it a little bit in the F1 games, which I always liked that part of it. You know, they might not be the most realistic or anything, but it's cool to have some alternates in there. Yeah, Rise is kind of the gold standard of doing historic stuff in a modern game, isn't it? But in case you weren't here earlier, like, this is just a nostalgia game for me. It's not the best sim out there. It's frustrating at times and unrealistic in a lot of ways, but it's just fun. I don't know how else to describe it. All right, we'll take the green flag though. We got 2 laps, and hopefully we can get it up near 200 miles an hour. Just try to keep that wheel nice and straight, try not to scrub off too much speed. I didn't quite get it turned in there like I needed to. Yeah, this game and NASCAR Racing 3 are nearly the same game. In fact, you can swap quite a lot of files between them. And if you comb through the files of this game, you'll see a lot of stuff from NASCAR 3 in there. All right, white flag, 197.6. That's decent, but I'm going to be a little bit down the pack here. A little bit better through 1 and 2 that time. It's turn 3 was where I messed it up last time. Oh yeah, I did actually. This is a custom cockpit for this car that I've made. Still working on it a little bit. It's not perfect. But this car by default I think has wood paneling, which not many of the real ones did. I think that was just included as kind of for fun. So I've made a little more generic 70s cockpit. 198.8. All right, that'll be decent. Get us back over to the other screen. All right, it's going to have us, yeah, quite mid-pack, actually. I was thinking it'd be a little bit further up than that. Got a few fast ones to go. Here comes Cale. Oh, 3rd place. 3rd place for Cale Yarborough. You would prefer the wood grain. It is nice. It is nice. All right, 43 drivers qualified. Buddy Baker gets the pole. A monstrous time, 2:04. In the qualifying, though. So Buddy Baker on the pole from Pete Hamilton. Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough starting the 2nd row with Bobby Isaac and Bobby Allison starting on the 3rd row. David Pearson and Charlie Glotzback back there ahead of Leroy Yarborough. And it's Yarborough for Leroy and Yarborough for Cale. Different, not related, which not a lot of folks these days know. But not related and actually spelled differently. But Donnie Allison with Banjo Matthews' car starts 10th. And we got Dick Brooks, Benny Parsons, James Hilton, and then Babe McIrvine, our make-believe driver, just ahead of Dave Marcus, G.C. Spencer, and Neil Castells. We'll see. I don't think there's anybody in the back that shouldn't really be back there. Yeah, quite a big field spread. It's not as big as I would love it to be, but we should be lapping cars quite a bit during this one. All right. I think that's it. I think we're going to get started with this. It's going to be a long race, and so we'll just pace ourselves, not get into any scuffles early on. The way this typically plays out is that the start probably will be quite a bit faster than everybody, and then they'll suddenly pick up a bunch of speed, and then I'll try to hang on until we get to lap traffic, where I will hopefully claw some of it back, and hopefully we have a good race, and it's not running alone out there, because it can be quite lonely around Talladega alone. But we'll quickly look at the car setup. I'm using the stock Ace setup. If we're having issues, we'll try to work on it over the race in the pit stops, but it has served me pretty well. And so, yeah, it should be a good one. But I appreciate you coming along. This is kind of a off-the-cuff thing. I've been busy the past few weeks, and it's just going to get busier the rest of the year. So I'd love to get back into doing more live streaming. And appreciate that you all tune in whenever I do happen to do it. But all right, we'll jump in, get started with this. Let me try to get everything set up here. We'll get us in the correct scene, and hopefully it all just works like magic. Oh my God, it works. I turned the engine up a little bit, so hopefully you can hear it a bit better, but it's not too loud or annoying. 188 laps, though, around Talladega. We got Benny Parsons in front. I've got rookie stripes on all the rookies, I think. And I've tried to paint it. I painted it so it looked like it was painted on, because they really just would paint the bumper yellow. Dick Brooks on the inside there in the 32. I didn't really mention it too much yet, but one of the big things I tried to do with this set is I actually worked on the 3D shape of the cars a bit. I can't make new 3D cars for this game, but I was able to kind of mold the existing ones and resize them. The Ford is a lot, you'll see it's a little more like a pancake now. I tried to, just comparing photos and trying to rescale the cars to just look a little more authentic, because by default the Ford especially is like a box and it doesn't look quite real. I'm pretty happy with how the Ford looks now. The Superbird and Daytona shape, not as happy with, but it's tougher to work with that one. It's just not super authentic to begin with. But I think in the end the cars are slightly bigger than they were with the default stuff. Oh, did I get damage from that? Oh, we gotta avoid damage. If we get damage, we're really gonna have a tough time today. Yeah, the brake check. Oh my god, I forgot about it. There's another one right at the start line too, so I'm gonna hang back just slightly. Of course, they say it every time, the start line is further down.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
All right, green is out, and let's just try to take it easy here for a few laps. Dave Marcus up on the inside. We'll sneak around the high side here into turn one. Whoa, somebody's leaking oil already, Donnie. That's not a good sign. That's pretty authentic to the era, though. Mechanical failures were, man, half of the field would DNF back in the day. All right, we're just gonna hang in line for a minute here. I'm realizing I should have practiced this a little bit more. Bounce back, falling into line. Everybody's going to try to get single file here as we'll come through the turn. Somebody pitting? Donnie's going to stay out. Hopefully it'll go away. Why are the cars shaking like that? That is 90s physics for you. Yeah, for NASCAR 3 and NASCAR Legends here, they redid the smoke to be more transparent. It does look much more realistic than it did in the prior games. Oh, hold on. The wheel camera has died. We'll wait till the caution or something. All right, there goes Donnie into the pits. I don't know if it's going to pick it back up. All right, we got GC Spencer looking up behind me. I'm just going to pause real quick to fix the camera. Not that you really need to see me, but see yourselves there for a minute. There we go. All right, hopefully that continues working. Not sure. True, I am just steering left. I find with a game like this, it's a little more interesting to watch if you can actually see what the person's doing with the wheel, since there is no on-screen indication of how I'm steering or anything like that. But just let me know if it dies again. Hopefully it won't. It's usually when I'm switching back and forth between stuff that it sometimes dies. All right. Things are getting into a groove here. So we are, where are we? 16th. We fell back a lot on the start there, behind Elmo Langley and Dave Marcus, but I got a killer run coming out of turn 2. We'll switch down the low side, try to rocket by him. Sometimes, depending on the weather, you can get a pretty good run down the backstretch. It doesn't seem like we've got too crazy, but able to make a move on them. Marcus is going to swing back on the low side here. Squeeze him down there a little bit, but he's actually going to make the pass. Oh, he's going to come right up to me. All right, Dave. Dave saw he was quite improved in 1970 compared to his prior season. 68 was his rookie year, and try to do the same thing again here. '68 was his rookie year, and he was pretty slow. '69 as well. He really just in '70 started picking it up quite a bit. All right, still made the move, and we'll see if we can stay in front of him here down the front stretch. I didn't slide up as much that time in the corner. We've got just enough space with the cars in front that we should hopefully be able to pick up that slipstream. Dave's looking down low again. Try to cut him off here into turn one. So the thing you'll notice, and one of the things I like about this game over some of the other Papyrus games, is how quickly you burn tires and fuel. We'll look here, tires, we're going to have to keep an eye on the tire wear. They're pretty even at the moment, but if we can get away with some 2-tire stops, it would be really good for us in pit time. There's no pit speed limit, but we're going to have to pit every 20 or so laps, maybe a little bit more than 20 laps. And we'll see what the AI does for pit stops. But it keeps it real, especially for these long races. You're always close to a pit stop, so you're just kind of always thinking about that and trying to figure out your strategy, and it's quite fun. All right, we're catching up on these guys. They're slowing each other down, changing lanes and stuff. Neil Castell's in front of us, known as Soapy. I don't quite know where that nickname comes from. I'm sure somebody in the chat does. Yeah, we could look at the tire temps in a minute here. Let me try to pass these guys. Leroy's working on James Hilton in front. And we've lost the lead pack, but hopefully once we get into lap traffic, there's bound to be a big traffic jam at some point. We can catch back up to these guys. Yeah, it's a 22-gallon fuel tank. Yeah, the player definitely does not get as many mechanicals. Oh, crash. Where's the car? Where's the car? Oh, there he was. Is that not a yellow flag? I had yellow flags ticked. Man, what an accident to not get a yellow flag for. I lost so much time because of that. I didn't want to Days of Thunder it so early on in the race. I know, I chickened out. Man, I'm surprised we didn't get a yellow flag for that. Usually if there's a spin in the middle of the pack, just a scrub of the wall, we're okay. Yeah, it's so early in the race that I'm not going to try to T-bone somebody here, but that has really set us back. You can see the skid marks. I think it was Benny Parsons. I'm not 100% sure. They are quite sparing with the cautions in this game. You have to have a multi-car crash basically to get a caution. And in real life they were also, so when watching some of these races, the National 500 at Charlotte comes to mind, which was kind of the fall race around Charlotte. Try to make quick work of these guys here. Jim Vandiver in front of Joe Fresone. But there's a crash. I want to say it's Charlie Glatzback blows his engine. A big cloud of smoke and everything. Spins halfway through the corner. Drives down the back straightaway. Parks it in the grass on the inside. Gets out of the car. Hops over the fence. No yellow flags. They just didn't really see the need to throw them unless there was actively a car stopped on the track back then. I was so surprised to see that. All right, we got Jabe Thomas in front. It's not exactly where I wanted to be 10 laps into the race, but at this pace, we're going to be going a lap down pretty soon, which is not good. Well, I think we all know that they use yellow flags these days, not really for safety always, but for entertainment. So it's a little bit different. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but they don't they don't just use them to mark for safety now, right? All right, if you're just tuning in, you tuned in a bit late. We're doing the Talladega 500 and NASCAR Legends, and we're using a car set that I put together over the past few weeks, painted all the cars to kind of make a replacement car set for this game, and seeing what kind of race we can have. Early on here, I qualified somewhat okay, but I got stuck in some traffic and slowed down for an accident in front and lost quite a bit of time, so we're going to have to work our way back up the order. That'll keep it interesting, I guess. We're 17th right now, and mostly just want to avoid going a lap down. That would be the goal. And not scrubbing the wall. I do got to try Newman Haas Racing at some point. I haven't played that game in forever, but that would be a fun one to do like a casual look at. Yeah, this game, I just always thought there should be more stuff for it. It's just kind of, when it came out, it was already outdated. Just the graphics engine and the physics engine and stuff. So it had a little community for a minute, but everybody kind of quickly went on to the next great thing. NASCAR 4 came out like a year after this, so you can see the leap between them. But yeah, because I like classic racing, I always thought it would be great to have more stuff for this game. So well, yeah, and Grand Prix Legends, of course, is just such a massive leap in every aspect from this. But I still enjoy this game, and having some vintage NASCAR stuff is fun. So yeah, did 68 to 70. I would love to also do 71, but the car shapes themselves changed quite a lot after 70. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll get my hands dirty and really try to tweak the models to look more like 71, but it's a little ways off, that will be. Yeah, NASCAR 3 was popular at the time, but Bill Elliott's NASCAR Racing is a pretty rough game, but it for the Nintendo 64, which is the Nintendo NES, the original Nintendo, it's pretty impressive that they were able to do like a 3D kind of racing game like that. So you got to look at the hardware as well. A long time ago, I did a video on here about the Days of Thunder video game. If you want to check something kind of fun out, it's man, that's a rough one. All right, so we're getting on towards pit stop time. Looking at tires, my rear tire is actually wearing out quite a lot. Yeah, the heat build up on the left rear is quite high. We might try to lower the tire pressure a little bit. The right rear is actually doing okay. I think we could go lower on both of them tire pressure wise though. Gotta remember the buttons I've got mapped for this. I think for the first stop we'll probably try to go 56 pounds. That might be the trick is lower the pressure so the tire won't balloon as big, but it'll run hotter. So it's kind of a balancing act. All right, we're back up to Friday Hassler, and we got GC Spencer, Elmo Langley, Dave Marcus in front of him. I might be able to swing around them down the backstretch if I can get a good run. So we might set ourselves up for that. Lift off the throttle there just a little bit. All right, try to get this run coming out of turn 2. Let the car ride up. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Dave here. I'm going to get squashed down low coming into turn 3. This is tricky. Come on, Elmo. Split them up. The AI is on rails a bit. Yeah, they're quite behaved. I'm bummed we lost the leading pack, but we're not losing that much time. We're about 12 seconds back, and we've been there for a few laps. Lost a little bit there because I slowed down, but if we can stay on the lead lap, that'll be good. All right, let's try to do the same move here. There we go. Get in front of both of them. Sweep out wide so we can take the corner properly. Oh, we got a car jumping in the pits already. Ugh, just a scrape on the outside. Bunch of cars in the pits. All right, they're pitting already. I don't think I picked up damage from that. No, we're doing a tire pressure change in the left rear. Gonna take full fuel. We're gonna do all 4 tires on this first stop just to make sure we're good. You can get away with quite a few bonks in this game without damaging the car. All right, we still got a little ways. I'm gonna continue running it for a few laps here anyway. I have not thought of my pit strategy yet. Oh, come on now. A couple cars in the pits there, a bunch of folks exiting. Hopefully everything's looking good. It's the lossless scaling is such an amazing tool. It makes this so much easier to look at for extended amount of time. I can see James Hilton up there, that's what we're chasing right now. That's exactly it. Less paint, less weight. Looks like Hilton's diving low on Castells. He's staying out, so it's interesting. There's quite a spread in the pit stop strategy so far. Should be picking up a few spots. Yeah, we're up into 6th. Uh-oh.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh my God!
We've got trouble entering the trials.
That's amazing news for me.
We've got trouble entering the trials.
Oh man, okay, we're gonna stay out here and try to pick up that yellow flag. And, oh my God. That's totally flipped our race positive now. It's gonna trap a whole bunch of guys a lap down. Ooh, I can see all the skid marks there. We'll check out the yellows. It's tricky for me to jump in between the menus and the game, so I don't want to do it too much, but we'll check out what happened there. All right, we should get the yellow flag this time. Stay behind Neil here. That's such amazing luck. What do people regard as the best NASCAR game? Well, if you want to race online, there really is nothing better than iRacing. If you want to do races against AI, then it's probably NASCAR 2003. I think those are probably the undisputed best NASCAR games. If you want to have more of a career type game, then probably Dirt to Daytona or NASCAR Thunder 2004. Those would probably be your best ones. All right, we'll jump in the pits and we'll take a look at the crash and everything. But amazing luck. I can still see we've got a lot of the fast cars ahead, so we didn't jump everybody, but we made up a lot of time there.
Okay, next time around you need to pit.
Yeah, we're gonna pit. Don't worry, bud.
Pit road is now open.
Some cars are staying out. Oh, those guys probably pit already. That's probably
Okay, the leader's on pit road.
probably why. All right, in the box. All right, I'm gonna pause it here for a second. We will take a look at the reason for our yellow flag. Yeah, a lot of people like those console games. They're fun. I played them a lot back then. I don't really keep up with them. All right, so this is right before the yellow. So it happened around here somewhere. Let's see. We had cars coming in and out of the pits. Uh-oh, Larry Baumel. Looks like it was a crash here. Wow, big crash. This is Jim Vandiver and Joe Fressone. Oh, Joe just absolutely took him out, basically. Look at this big pileup, too. Vandiver gets going right away. We'll look at the other camera angle as well. But it looks like the 18, Joe Fressone, just came down on Vandiver on the exit of the corner. Pretty realistic crash, actually. Here he comes, deciding he's going to pit or something. And collecting the Cecil Gordon in there. Larry Baumel gets involved. Johnny Halford's in there, too. And everybody gets going again. Probably be some damaged cars out there, so that'll, of course, play into things. All right, let me just get this back set up. All right, everything's working again. All right, so we're taking our pit stop here. Everybody's coming in. I almost went too far. I just made it, though. Yeah, if you're wondering, I am using the H pattern with this. I'm using the clutch just for fun. It does nothing in the game, but it's just habit. But the H pattern actually does shift the gears, which is nice because you can shut off the little display then. All right, we'll try to not spin the tires and see if we can pass a couple of these guys coming out of the pits. Ooh, this is going to be a little sketchy. Come on. Slide out behind GC Spencer there. Oh, we might actually make out big with this. Bunch of cars in the pits. There we go. What's my beverage choice and would I get in trouble with my sponsor? I've got no sponsors. But I got some coffee over here today, as well as water. Very exciting. Yeah. Well, if you were here, I don't remember what live stream that was, but if I could get sponsored by Liquid Death, that would be amazing. Not with that attitude. The problem with sponsors is they always want something from you. All right, we got Bobby Allison right in front here. Are there any 50s mods for Legends? Unfortunately not. There's really just now 68 through 70. There is a 66 car set out there, but it's on the default shape, so it's a little, you know. And then there is a set of cars for 75 through 80, which are quite nice. On the default shape, but they're quite nice. It's a fun set of cars to play with. All right, so where are we now? I'm in second position. Bobby Allison is leading, but we are quite far back, and this is real. Back in the day, the pace car would hold the field up, and the leader did not need to be the first person behind the pace car. So we've got a whole bunch of cars that are ready to go a lap down directly in front of us. But Bobby Allison is leading, which is just so fitting. And we're going to see if we can pass him on the start here. Got a couple broken cars up the inside. There is a Daytona Beach track for this game, which is actually quite nice. If we retire early and remind me, I can pull it up. But yeah, there's no real old car sets. I'd love for that. I'd love for some 50s stuff in this. All right, we just got to watch for the checkup here. We know it's coming. Do some left foot braking.
These cars in.
There's a real slow car down the inside up there. I don't know what's going on. This might get real messy here in a minute. Was that Benny Parsons that just flew by us? All right, back under green. Bobby Allison, the leader's in front. We'll just try to follow him through all this traffic. It's going to get quite crazy here. These races get kind of messy after a while, but Bobby's going to go to the high line there. It's probably a bad idea, Bobby. We'll pass Earl Brooks down the low side, see if we can pass the string of cars, taking the lead. Have to squeeze into turn 3 here, try not to get clipped. John Sears almost comes down on me. All right, we're all actually caught up behind Cecil Gordon. He's very slow. Yeah, the old wiggle. It's one of the things that, you know, the people don't ever point that out when I play IndyCar 2, but the AI do the same thing there. I think that's just because this is such high resolution that you notice it. This didn't work out too well. We're like 4 wide in front. Wendell Scott's bouncing off the wall. Not going to be able to squeeze in there if they're too wide. Just take our time here. This is the easiest time to get into an accident as Marcus decides to jump on the binders on the low side. Is Mike going to go into the pits maybe? No. He just felt like doing that. We're getting freight trains here. Slide up behind JD McDuffie. JD got a brand new Mercury for this season. He had been racing a Buick, which is, I think, the only Buick in NASCAR for quite a while. You can see Bobby right behind me still. All right, see if we can at least get around. We got to pick these guys off like one by one. So coming to turn 3 on the low side. Oh, JD. My God. McDuffie did a bit better on the short tracks. This is really early in his career, though. I think he started in '68, so he was only a couple seasons in at this point. These guys are making it difficult. Let's see what we can do on the high line here. Come on to the backstretch, slide up behind Marcus. John Sears there down low. Cecil Gordon's really made the issue with all this. Everybody's struggling to get around him. He's got the whole rear bumper ripped off that Ford. John Sears keeping it in there. Wendell Scott's going to pinch me up. All right, this high line actually, maybe it'll work. I don't know. Hey there, Ascari. Thank you for the membership, continued membership, even though I've been a little quiet lately. I appreciate it. It's Jim Vandiver in front here. Oh man. It's real tense stuff because if the AI just move a little bit differently than I'm expecting, we're going to be going for a spin. This is so tough. I can't quite make the pass. We got Bobby Allison right up behind me again. Vandiver's going to get squeezed out wide. Oh, I have to jump on the brakes there. It's too bad the AI in real life, or the the lap cars in real life, they would stick right around the bottom. Oh my God. Oh no. That's what I was really hoping wouldn't happen. That's going to be a death sentence in this race.
Pit road is closed.
Should maybe pit.
Damage to your right front. Back end is all tore up.
That was such a hard hit. They just decided to move up there. I was doing that for a few laps. We'll see what we're playing with. We should be able to fix it. Ugh. I think I'm on the. I mean, I'm in like second position right now still. So we'll see what we can fix and how bad the car is. The force feedback when you crash like that is real rough. I don't know if you can tell with the wheel right now. It's shaking all over the place. I think it was Jim Vandiver that I was trying to pass down low, and he just got me up high. Oh yeah, there's FFB in this.
Pit road is closed.
All right, let's see how bad it is.
Now open. Past the 4 cars.
Oh no! Somehow the crew's still going to be able to change the tires. Dang, that's very disappointing. Take out the saws, boys. Let's take a look at what happened here. Yeah, it was a bit optimistic for the beginning, Pavel. You're right. Nice to see you, Pavel, by the way. Okay, the car. Oh wait, this is probably. Yeah, I was gonna say that's before the accident. It doesn't look so bad. It's really gonna depend on how bad our aero is up front. They'll fix the car. Like we'll be running again with 4 tires, but it's a matter of how much of this front aero are they able to keep. All right, let's see if we can tell what happened here. Mind of my own. I went down too far. Oh, it gets into Bobby a little bit. I mean, this is one of those things. I say this all the time with these old games. I should know better. Right here, I need to keep up to that top white line. Because Jim now is looking to 31. He's looking to pass Cecil on the high side. And that's how we make contact. We phase through each other. Nail the wall. Oh, we'll take a look from the blimp. I don't think they really had blimps back in these days, but... Anybody else involved real bad? Everybody just gets slowed down. Oh, Bobby gets spun out, but I don't think he would have gotten damage from it, so they all miraculously pick it all up. Man, only a few laps in. We're only 30 laps in, and we've got crazy damage. We'll see. I'll see if I can fix it, though, and what the car is like. All right. We gotta let them fix all this. We'll just be completely useless if we have aero damage of significant amount. You can see how much the hood is curled up on the right side. Well, yeah, they did have blimps. Did they have blimps at NASCAR races? Not often. I think that was more of an 80s thing. We'll see what the car looks like. I think we're basically the last car in the lead lap right now.
Go, 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 go!
That's it. That's it, guys. Oh boy, I'm surprised I didn't cut the whole fender off. Good as new. All right, let's see how much speed we can pick up. I mean, we're going to be able to get into 4th gear, which is good. So, we are in 36th place on the lead lap. Yeah, we're going to be a little slow, I think.
One more lap to
But
green.
we'll have to see if in the slipstream maybe we can keep up. We'll see. Passing a few cars through the pits. I'll take it.
Stay on the outside line.
Sure thing. Sure thing, boss. I'm using a wheel and pedals. I'm using just a Fanatec DD, and I've got Huizenveld pedals. This wheel rim I actually got kind of recently. I was using an actual stock car rim from the 80s, but it is so heavy that I was just worried that it would wear out my stuff eventually. So this is an MPI sim racing rim that they sell, and I've dressed it up a little to make it look a little more vintage than it usually is. We'll have to see if we can keep up here. We'll play it by ear here. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet, but somehow it looks like Jabe Thomas is leading. So it's a career day for Jabe right now, on strategy, no doubt. But Cale Yarborough is in second, Buddy Arrington's in third, and I've just rear-ended everybody. Oh my God. This is not going to plan. And now we got repairs again, so this is just going to make things worse. I think I phased Cecil Gordon through the 79 in front.
We've got a lot of damage on the front.
No kidding. All right.
Green flag, green, green, green.
This is going from bad to worse. We're going to take a really, really fair jump on this. It's fine. Oh, Larry Balmo's squeezing me down low. I'm on the apron. This is going from bad to worse. That might have been the only way I was going to get in front of anybody, so let's see what we can do in the slipstream. I mean, I'm so far keeping up, but Neil's going to squeeze me down low. All right, we got Dave Marcus pushing us. I'm really, really hoping that I can keep up with at least somebody. Come on, Dave, let me in. Oh my God, we might be going for a pass here. Yeah, we're back in 35th. There's no way to show position and laps on the same screen, so it's one or the other. All right, we are not the slowest car somehow, and I still have damage that's fixable from rear-ending everybody on the restart. So we'll see. We'll go with this for a little bit. We're not ready to throw in the towel yet. Down the low side of Frank Warren then. Pass at least a few of these really slow cars. There's Cecil Gordon in front. Now at this time, Dave Kemmer was working on GPL when this came out. This was more of a, I don't want to say B team game, but it was a little more of a Sierra Publishing hires Papyrus to make a game type game. All right, up the inside of Joe Fressone. He's quite aggressive, so need to be careful with this. Yeah, he's just going to squeeze me down. If you're just tuning in, things were going, I would say, halfway decent for the first 30 laps of the race before, before getting into quite a big crash. And we've got some damage we can fix next time we go into the pits. Hopefully we get another yellow flag at some point. We're not the slowest car somehow, but we're going to have a really tough time passing these guys. I mean, this game does have the interesting fact of being the last game on the original Papyrus engine. After this, NASCAR 4 came out, and Grand Prix Legends was already out, so everything was on the more advanced engine. But this is almost the same engine that the original Indy 500 was on. We gotta run. We gotta do something with it. We'll squeeze up high on Cecil Gordon. Somehow make that work. I wasn't able to pass Jim Vandiver like that, but we'll get around Cecil. Oh boy. The car does not handle well. Slid out wide. Battling our heart out for 32nd position right now. And all that work. Frank Warren coming down low as well. That's right. Dave Marcus lets me in. I really want there to be a caution so we can fix the rest of that damage and see if it helps at all. So right now we're just racing with the real damaged cars. Split them. Oh boy. Come on, Cecil. That's a new way to pass, I guess. Be the change I want to see. Looking at my water temps are getting quite high. We might actually blow an engine just from the amount of damage that we have. See if we can pull these guys in front at all. We're 2.4 seconds off Joe in the 18. He's got 3 cars right in front of him. The water temperature is very high, so I don't think we're long for this world. If we can get another yellow, fix the rest of that damage, we might have a little more to play with. I'm not ready to give up just yet. Here comes Frank Warren coming back on me. I'm doing my best to block these guys, but they've got a lot of speed. Here comes Dave Marcus down low. Cecil Gordon up high. Oh boy. We're not pitting yet. All right, we got a couple cars jumping in the pits already, so I don't want to be the first one in, though. We still have a half tank of fuel, so what would Jimmy Spencer do? These are good questions. This is what we're going to do. We're going to run this to the pit stop, take the pit stop, fix whatever else we can fix, and just see what it's like. And then if it's still slow, we'll retire the car and we'll do a short race somewhere else. Like maybe a half distance or something. So think of, that's probably what's going to happen. So think of what track you'd want to see, and we'll do a little mini race somewhere else, so that we can play and have some fun with some of the other cars. Nah, we'll keep it to the real tracks in NASCAR in 1970. Because those are the only ones I got installed right now.
On pit road.
I am surprised that we're not dramatically slower than the slowest cars, though. Well, everybody's going to want Riverside. Riverside's a bit rough in this. All right, got cars coming out of the pits here. Oh! Somehow Marcus saved that. It smacked the wall, though. So we get a freebie spot there. All right, we're in 23rd. Frank Warren squeezes it up high, but I'm able to get around him. Not gonna be able to get around these two. Alright, what kind of laps are we doing right now? Last lap was a 191. Man, that's so slow. 190. Alright, we're going to pit. I'm just curious for myself how much they can actually fix. So I think I might pit this time, and we can see if the car picks up any speed. Probably not gonna, though. Nashville didn't come with the sim, but there is a Nashville for the sim. All right, some other leaders picking. So I'm going to pit this time and see if they can fix anything to do better than 190-mile-an-hour laps. Rough day at Talladega, though. You know, I was thinking it might go that way, so I'm not too disappointed. I will say, for folks that are talking about short tracks, the speedway racing is much better in this game than the short tracks are, so just keep that in mind.
There's a spin in turn 3.
Uh-oh. No yellow flag, it seems. Come on, guys. There comes Bobby Eyes again. Maybe he was the one that spun. His bumper looked a little messed up. I don't know if I've ever really raced Ontario in this game. No, we didn't get a yellow flag, but there was some sort of self-spin or something. Alright, let's just see what we can do for speed. And let's say if it's not over 195, we're going to retire the car. Which I don't think it's going to be over 195. We can do 197s and 8s in qualifying alone, so 195 would still be quite far off our normal pace. We'll get our green flag here for our test lap. That was a 175, but we were coming out of the pit, so we'll give it a good, honest go here. I can tell I'm slow, though, because the car is just easy to get through the corners. It normally pushes quite a lot because you're carrying so much speed. Looks like we're actually behind Isaac, so we're in 39th, a lap down now. It's not looking very good for us. All right, what is it? 190. That's it, boys. Well, running a full Talladega 500 just wasn't in the cards. They made it slower because I'm not in the draft, but 5 miles an hour off by on your own is no good. So ultimately my doing. I'm sure I was slower before the pit stop alone. We'll bring it in the pits here to retire. And we can simulate the rest of the race to see who wins. And then we'll pick something else. We'll do a short race somewhere else, just for fun. Since I was planning to be here for 3 hours. All right. That's it, boys. Wasn't meant to be today. Wasn't meant to be. We'll get that newspaper at the end, which is one of my favorite features. I'm happy they brought that back for the AI racing in iRacing. All right, accelerate time. Now we could just sit and watch it, but we're not going to do that. So somehow Elmo Langley's in the lead here, 56 laps into the race. If you're just tuning in, had a crash about 30 laps in, and the car is just not fast enough to make it worth keeping going. So we're going to simulate the rest of this race and see who wins, and then pick a track and do a shorter race somewhere else. Hopefully have a little more luck with it. Okay, Buddy Baker's back in the lead. So Elmo Langley's doing really well, though. Yeah, iRacing has the newspaper. When you finish an AI race, it'll show you. It's like Rising Star gets a top 10, something like that. The thing that's funny about NASCAR Legends and NASCAR 3 as well is if you don't win, you always get the loser paper. there's just 2. There's one if you win, and then every other position that you could finish. Even if you get second place, it says like tough day or heartbreak for this driver. All right, David Pearson up front, swapping the lead. Pete Hamilton matching his real-life success. We're going through pit stops, I think, though, right now. Buddy Baker's still up front. So it seems like Buddy Baker's leading when they're not in pit stop, but there's a tight pack up there. I mean, Richard Petty's right on him. David Pearson as well. Long green flag stretch here. Well over 100 laps now. So it looks like it's a 3-way battle up front. Baker, Pearson, Yarborough. Pit stops, though. I think we got some folks that are off cycle compared to other ones. It's quite a complicated race at this point. Class back pits gets Yarborough back in the lead. Baker slid back to third. Interesting. He's able to pull out a few seconds on Pearson. The AI in iRacing is decent. It's best at road racing. The ovals, there's a lot of problems with the balance between the player car and the AI. They're sometimes just much faster than you could possibly go, or they're much slower depending on the track and the weather and all that. Apparently they're fixing that, so I'm eager to try it out once they do some fixing there. All right, Leroy's gotten in the lead. It's a Yarborough duel. Getting into the final 30 laps or so. Elmo Langley's back up front. Could he get a surprise win? That would be. I don't think I've seen Elmo win in any of my testing. Yeah, you can't control the DNF rate. That's one thing I really wish you could. I'd love it if you could make half the field DNF like real life. All right, get into the final 20 laps. Pearson, Yarborough up front, Leroy that is, and Elmo Langley all dueling with him. So we're coming to 10 to go. Richard Petty somehow got the lead. That's fitting. I think he's probably going to have to pit, though. Yeah, he pits. Elmo Langley's up front. He has to pit. Will he cycle up front? Coming to 5 to go. Neil Castell somehow in the lead. Leroy gets it 2 laps to go. Comes across the line. Leroy Yarborough is our winner. Wow. That was actually a really surprising end to the race. Leroy Yarborough wins it from Buddy Baker, Cale Yarborough, Neil Castells, and Charlie Glassvac gets a top 5. If we scroll back down, seems like Bobby did maybe get some damage in that accident because he ended up finishing 12th. That was a really bizarre race. I think all the yellow flags early on split everybody up. Bobby Isaac finishes super far back. And Babe McIrvine, second to last, 42nd position after our crash early on. Man, no good. Yeah, it could be fun, but I think I want to keep it on a speedway. So let's do this. I'm gonna put a little poll up for which track we'll race. How do I do that again? All right, let me do a poll. So we're gonna do like a maybe a half distance race or something like that. And I guess we'll do it between Ontario, because I haven't really raced there before. We'll go to potentially Atlanta, Charlotte. I would do Darlington, but I did a video with that pretty recently, so we'll do something different. Could do Texas World. Oh, that's all we could do. 4 options. Yeah, we'll do those 4. Ontario, Atlanta, Charlotte, Texas World. I know folks want to see Riverside, but let's do, instead of Atlanta, we'll put Trenton in there. Do some of the weird ones. I know folks want to see Riverside. I think I haven't got the AI balance too well there, so I don't want to do anything too crazy. But all right, so we'll start a poll with this and see where we should race. I'll let that run for a minute here. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do kind of a short race just to I don't know. We'll see where we end up, but I'll see you all in a minute. All right, had to have a snack. Ah, Pavel, I wasn't gonna bug you about it, but yeah, there is a really, really nice version of Riverside being built for IndyCar 2, and I was hoping it would make its way to some of the other sims at some point. All right, it looks like Trenton. Trenton is where we're going. Trenton, New Jersey. Classic track. Classic track. Sadly, no longer around. It's famous for its kidney bean shape. It wasn't always that way. You can see here on the back straightaway, it turns to the right. It wasn't always like that though. They expanded it, and because of I think it wasn't possible to actually expand both sides because of some houses or something. So they just kicked out one side. A lot of USAC IndyCar races there, even up into the early '80s, and NASCAR obviously raced there quite a bit. One of the few northern races that they did, and yeah, it's sad it's gone. But all right, we'll do a 100 lap race. That's 50% distance. Give us good good amount of racing. Let me just make sure we got we'll have a full field of cars there, and we'll do random conditions and everything. All right, let's jump in. I don't know much about AC Evo. I've seen so many sims over the years. Like, just gonna wait to see what it is, and hopefully it's fun. And if it's fun and has stuff in it that I want to drive, then I'll do it. Yeah, that was one of the pretty unique features of this track, was how close the houses were to it, and also probably why it disappeared when it did. Because living that close to a racetrack. All right, so let's jump in the car here. What setup do I got on? Ace. Yeah, we'll go with the Ace setup. We'll do a couple practice laps, and we'll jump straight in to it. All right. A little bit here. Now, I believe this was not a default track in NASCAR Legends, but it was modded in, and I don't know if it was modded in from the Pirates themselves or if other folks did it. But yeah, I know this track did not come with the game. There's our right-handed corner. See the houses off to the right there, and then turns 3 and 4 here are quite fast. It's a very unique oval. It's a shame. It's a shame it's gone, like all the tracks. But here's my best friend Jim Vandiver. Try to steer clear of him in this one. Now, I've not done much racing here. Whoa, that might need to lengthen the gears just a little bit. Oh boy, I wonder if we'll shift in this. Might need to lengthen our gears just one tick. Yeah, it's like a downscaled Brooklands. That's not a bad description. Car's already pitting for some reason. I don't know if they would have shifted here back in the day, but at least the way the gears are right now, it feels like you should. Yeah, I did do a video around here when I was looking at, what was that, a 1978 USAC IndyCar mod for Automobilista 1. They had a nice version of this track in it. That just feels like I'm revving slightly too high. I don't know. I think I might click it up just one skosh. It's an official unit of measurement, a skosh. I don't know if that's what you meant, Robert, but it works either way. All right, let's jump into the pits. All right. Wonder where that puts me in the leaderboard. Dang, the way I've got this set up, I can't touch the leaderboard. There we go. First. I'm worried that everybody's sitting in the pit lane so much. I hope the AI is not broken. Yeah, I gotta figure out the line around here. I don't actually really know how to drive this track, but let me we will. Where is the gears? Here they are. Oh, of course there's no you have to lower all of them. But yeah, well, just a tick. We'll see how that feels in qualifying. We'll make a new setup. All right. We'll see how that does in qualifying. I'm curious though why the AI are pitting every lap. Let me just see if Kale completes his lap here. Nope. In the pits. Ah, well, I guess we'll see if in the race they decide to actually drive. I wonder if there's too many cars. I think I raised the AI number, and maybe there's too many. Hold on, we'll get rid of a few cars. We'll run 40. Hopefully that works. All right, let's jump into qualifying then. So we just drop a few of the cars at the back. Oh wait, actually, 1 second. I don't want to get rid of all of these guys. Some pretty quick ones at the back. We'll get rid of a few of the really slow cars. We'll get rid of Johnny. All right, that's 40 cars now. Hopefully that works better with the track, and we can run the race. All right, but we'll jump in qualifying here. We'll do quick qualify. I'm right up front. So Pete Hamilton's a 136. I think I did better than that in testing there in practice. So we'll see how I can do. Come on, there we go. Set up with Trenton in the name. We'll see how the gearing is on this now. So it must be, I mean, the right-hand turn here is not so significant that it, I feel like wouldn't affect your car that much. All right, we'll see what we can do for a lap, though. Yeah, RPMs are just a bit better. We just want to hit just about 8,000 before we go into turn number 1. And I don't know if I broke too early. Thank you, Went Golfing. I got a couple emails from folks saying that they were trying the car sets and stuff, which is great. I know there's not a massive audience for this game, and I'm not, you know, it's more just something I've always wanted to do. But I'm happy there's a few folks out there enjoying them. It's fun. It's nothing too serious. All right, we'll come out of turn 4. One more. I think the gearing's a little bit better now. It's still pretty high, but we're only running a half-distance race as well, so. Kept it in 4th gear that time. So 131, it's not super fast. Emails from 1999. The thing is, even in 1999, it would have been so hard to do these things because just the resources weren't out there like they are now. So it's kind of something that wouldn't have been able to be done back then. All right. Not too bad. Slide in mid-pack, though. So we'll be starting similar position to Talladega, but hopefully with a better result than that. Up behind Benny Parsons. Yeah, I've seen that 1990 kart mod. I gotta try it a little bit more. But all right, so not such a bad starting position. 13th, lucky number 13 for us. Right behind Benny Parsons. But Richard Petty gets the pole ahead of Bobby Isaac, Cale Yarborough, Leroy Yarborough, Bobby Allison in 5th, Charlie Glotzback, Buddy Baker, David Pearson, Pete Hamilton, and Donnie Allison round out the top 10. So we'll have to see if this goes a little bit better than Talladega went. What happened in Talladega? We don't talk about Talladega. No, I just had a crash. Trying to avoid the AI, I had a crash. The car was just so much slower that it wasn't really worth continuing. But we'll jump into this. It's 100 laps. It'll be a pretty substantial race. We'll have to pit quite a few times. I have no idea what the pit strategy will be, but we'll figure it out as we go, and hopefully can do a bit better here. Let me get this all running. Getting good at it now, the scene switching.
Go high.
That's never a good sign. All right, this one I think is going to be a little even more chaotic off the start until everybody gets spread out. And then I expect the lapped cars will actually help us out quite a bit here because passing is going to be difficult, I would imagine. All right, not what we had planned to do today, but hopefully we fun nonetheless. 100 laps here at Trenton. We'll see if we finish better than 13th and in one piece. I think it'll be a success. Gotta watch for that Papyrus checkup. So we got Dick Brooks right in front of me with Benny Parsons on his right side, and Dave Marcus, who I was battling with quite a bit at Talladega, right next to me.
Green flag, green flag, green.
All right, start in 3rd gear. There was no checkup somehow. They figured it out. All right, Dave's going to be on the outside. Just give him a little space. We'll ride the guardrail. Nice and safe on the inside. All right, cleanly through turn 1 at least. Where do I go for turns 3 and 4 is the question. Just take it easy here in the first lap. So looks like Richard Petty's jumped out to the lead ahead of Isaac. Pass a couple cars down the front stretch here as we'll come down into turn number 1. Cautious on that inside line. Parsons sticking it in right next to me. Well, I didn't get down a gear, but Donnie is going to fade and give me the position. It's an interesting exit because now it turns into the inside for the right-hander here. see if we can pull out on Donnie just a little bit. Not have to watch the mirror so much. A little bit wider. Donnie's going to stuff it in the inside. We'll get it down to third gear. It is a narrow track, isn't it? So far, so good. I lost a spot there, but I got to keep it up the inside then, going into turn one. I was hoping I could arc it better, but Donnie might just have a fast car, though. Got that a little wrong coming into three. Got James Hilton now behind me. That's a car I could not get it the right color. It's supposed to be like gold. Ugh. It's just brown in this, but there's no good color for gold. Despite there being several prominent gold cars in NASCAR Legends, the palette just doesn't have good colors for it. So hopefully we can make it to at least lap 33 before we take fuel. And that will mean we just stop twice. Well, an interesting fact, people always talk about how Pocono is the track that all three corners are different, they're modeled after other tracks. Well, turn 3-4 here is what turns 1 and 2 at Pocono is modeled after. So if this looks familiar, you'd be approaching it with much higher speed at Pocono, of course, but a little scrub on the wall. As Hilton takes a look on the inside. I drove it in too deep. He's going to get me on the exit. All right, James. Benny Parsons is right there, too. I gotta figure out if the shifting actually helps me or hurts me. The shift time, I feel like I actually lose some time to the AI doing that. Gotta block the low side a little bit better here. A little tight. Gonna have to work on the setup a bit during the stops. We're still in 13th, so I'm right where I started. Terrible, terrible run. I felt better, even though the downshifting is a little bit better on that initial acceleration. I think not shifting, it might actually be the solution here. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy track, isn't it? See if I can get it slowed down a bit better for turn one here. The steering on these cars in this game is vague, vague to be nice. Yeah, the first turn is decreasing radius, and it is quite hard to get the line through there. Yeah, let's check the tire temps. It's a good shot. No, we're doing okay. The left sides are much cooler, but that makes sense. We're still revving it quite high, but hopefully the shorter race distance will mean we're okay. Temp-wise, we're all right. I am almost certain we would have blown the engine at Talladega had we gone another 20 laps, so we would have had to retire no matter what.
There's spin
Uh-oh.
in turn 2.
Spin. Maybe no yellow flag, though. Yeah, things will get definitely interesting when we start hitting the slower cars. We can see the skid marks from it. Somebody had a spin. Well, this game came out right around the time I got my first wheel. And I remember thinking it was just so much easier and more fun, therefore, than Grand Prix Legends at the time. I played this a lot more than Grand Prix Legends for the first year or so. Okay, I see a car in the pits. It's red. It might be Friday Hassler that had his spin. I think I might be reeling these guys back in ever so slightly. We're sitting in 13th still, right where we qualified. Just 10 laps in. There's a long ways to go yet, even though this is a short race. If you're wondering why, if you tuned in and wondering why this isn't Talladega, had a crash. We had a crash just not even quarter distance into Talladega, so doing a short race here at Trenton just for some fun and to race with these 70 cars a bit more. The Carset's in the description if you want to download it, if you have this game set up. It's not too hard to run. I'm running it here with DG Voodoo, which is like a plug-in to make older DirectX games just work a bit better. Sneak up the inside of Friday here. Yeah, it was Friday that had the accident, looks like. GP crash, that's right, all I do is crash. I probably could have been a lot more patient with Talladega, but I was stuck in this lap traffic for like 10 laps, it felt like anyway. And I made a move which in real life wouldn't have been my fault, but in these games is definitely my fault. I actually am running this game in Direct 3D mode, but with the DG Voodoo wrapper. It does better than the Glide, just performance-wise. And but this game, it should run. I think it'll run just native to Windows. The reason I use the wrapper though is so I can play it in windowed mode, and there's other upscaling and stuff that you can have it do. So that's why it's running at 1440p resolution. All right, I'm pulling in these guys just ever so slightly lap after lap. So we got James Hilton in front of us. James actually won a race in 1970, I think at Richmond, if I'm remembering correctly, early in the season. It's one of his like 3 wins in his career. Pretty great for an independent to get a win. Gives us the inside. I just can't quite get it in there yet. Might have him on the exit though. Just gotta be careful. Fender to fender. All right, we're nearing half tank, so it looks like we might just about get 33 laps on a tank of fuel. And if we can do that, we can just make this a 2-stop race unless there's some yellow flags at some point. So this will be an interesting strategy. I don't know what the other cars are going to do. Yeah, I mean, this game, it looks, there's like a cartoon quality to the graphics of it, but I don't know, it's not too bad to look at. If the AI cars moved more realistically, I think it would improve the look of the sim overall by quite a lot. It's just the way they move is so archaic. All right, I can see the field in front is stacking up a bit, so I bet we're heading, catching some of the lap traffic. Yeah, I think Richard Petty's out front. It's not surprising. Quickly look up the order. Yeah, That's the leaders for you. Richard Petty, Bobby Isaac, Cale Yarborough. Not sure if Pete would have raced this race. I feel like he might have. This would have been one of his closest races to home back in 1970. Yeah, I don't dislike how they move. All right, make a move on Hilton here. Just jump right down to the white line. Oh, he's gonna chop me. Dang, I thought I had it because we were side by side. I hit the wall just a little bit there. Smoke everywhere. Let's get it running again. I don't think I hit the wall too hard. Brutal. The AI are so brutal. All right, we'll get it back going. They do not leave you room unless you're in front. I overshot that trying to stay ahead of Marcus here. Come on, Dave. There we go. Stay in front of him on the outside. Wow, you cannot make the lunge into turn 3 unless you're very far ahead, I guess. No yellow. I don't know why. I don't think I lost too much speed with that, even though we got a little damage. Would have lost me a lot of time though. 25 seconds behind the leaders. We're actually going to be in danger of going a lap down. Yeah, in this game I've found unless there's more than one car involved in a crash, they almost never throw a yellow. Get it up the inside of Friday. He's a lap down. All right, that wouldn't have helped my tires, that spin, but at least you can't get flat spots in this. We're chasing Neil Castells now.
There's a spin in turn 4. There's an accident
Whoa.
in turn 4. Yellow flag is up.
Oh, yellow flag. Well, we're a bit early for the pit stop strategy, so it's going to shake things up quite a lot. Saying to go low. Somebody had a crash. Oh, looks like Leroy and Charlie Glassback might have come together.
Pit road is closed.
All right, get the yellow here. Oh no, it looks like that's Ed Negri in the 8 car. Who maybe got into Glassback and Leroy. I don't know why he's letting us by, but we'll take it. Yeah, I might take this opportunity to repair, although I don't feel like the car is any slower than it was. So losing the time on pit road might not be worth it, but I think we're going to have to do a 4-tire stop. Maybe we can save time later in the race by doing a splash and go. I didn't realize the yellow wasn't out yet. All right, so we'll get an opportunity to pit here. Try to get close up to Charlie in front.
Now open.
These guys hang back though, so we're going to lose time just from this.
Pit road.
Yeah. Got to pit. But we'll do 4 tires, and I guess I'll just try to do everything except lose a lap. Like we won't All right. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. To bring out that yellow flag, and I think it was Ed Negri seemed involved in that, so we'll look at him. I like how this car looks quite a bit. It's a cool paint scheme. The 8 looks it looks so similar to the Dale Jr. 8, but it is what it looked like on his car. Charlie Glassback and Ed right there. A little bit of a touch. Oh, I'm going to get Leroy involved as well, up into the wall. No, Babe McIrvine is not real. That was Kringle's idea for my driver's name for this. Yeah, coming down, just clips. Too bad for Leroy getting involved in that too. They all get going again. Come on now. There we go. All right. So let them try to fix the car, but I want to try to stay in the lead lap if at all possible. So we'll watch for the pace car here. We'll listen for him. Doing 4 tires, full fuel. Here comes the pace car. Now, because there's no speed limit, you can kind of pass the pace car while you're in the pit lane.
The pace car's in turn 4. The pace car's in turn 5.
Turn 5? Where is it?
Go, go, go!
I guess it makes sense that there's 5 turns on this track.
On the front straight.
Come on. Vandiver's going to come out in front of me and try to spoil this. I'm just going to pass him. I don't know what the actual rules were like back in the day for that kind of stuff. Vandiver's going to try to get back around me. All right, seems like we were able to fix the damage though. We're in 18th now, so it's not too bad. We lost a few spots, but we've got a brand new car again, essentially. We'll catch back up to the pack here. 74 laps to go, so we're a quarter in. So, unless we do a lot of fuel saving, we are definitely going to have to pit twice more in this race. So I think we'll definitely have to pit twice more. Back around, try to catch up here. We're gonna have I think the whole field in front of us though, because they'll have the lapped cars go up the inside, but it's gonna be a long train.
One more lap to green.
All right. Give the AI some space. I don't want to rear end anybody this time. Yeah, do we want to see if they didn't cut anything, so they just had to hammer it out.
Stay on the outside line.
I barely hit the wall when I spun out, so I didn't think there was much damage. All right, we're on the outside line. Restarts on this are the hardest time. It's just everybody's packed up, and the AI make really erratic moves and stuff, so you have to be careful. Ooh, my God. That was a huge checkup. Yeah, we've got so many cars in front of us. There must be a lot of cars almost a lap down. All right, coming to the green. We've got, I think Pete Hamilton's in the lead from Yarborough, Pearson Baker, and Hilton, who I was chasing for a while there. So I don't know how that worked out, but... Now, let's just play it nice and easy. I only got one car behind me, Jim Vandiver. There was no way I could possibly avoid that. That's such a bummer.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Oh my God. Well, I should not follow in line, I guess. I'm sure I have a bunch of damage from that. Yeah, of course.
We've got a lot of damage on the front. The back end is all tore
At least this isn't an aero track, but we'll have to see how much it affects the car. Man, what a bummer. They just stopped. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the temps. That's such a bummer. At least at Talladega, my car was already very hurt before that happened, but essentially standing starts, yeah. I mean, at least handling is much more of a thing at this track, so the car should be fine for that. We'll get around Dave Marcus here down the front stretch. Streamer's Curse. Now, that's just how this game goes sometimes. All right. GC Spencer in front of us here, so we're 17th, but GC is actually the car in front. And you can see the huge pack of cars. It's going to be a lot of fun to try to get around. Massive run down the front stretch. Oh my God. I'll take it. All right, Leroy Yarborough's in front now. Water temps seem to be okay, so if it's green flag, I'm not going to fix that damage because it's just going to lose me a ton of time. GC tries to pass me up the high side into turns 4 and 5, I guess. I guess we'll call them. The AI is not good around here. You're not wrong. Just staying in line here behind Leroy. Didn't want to get chopped like Hilton did earlier in the race. Let's take our time. We've got a long ways to go yet. 69 laps to go. Get up the inside of Larry Balmo. One car at a time. Yeah, the AI is rough in this game. It's not easy to race against, but they're better. They're better once you get strung out. They're still always a bit of a pain, but it's all these old Papyrus games. The wheel to wheel is not great with the AI. Oh, we got some cars going in the pits. That's interesting. Those guys must have interesting. We had a few cars stay out under the yellow. So they're still just going to do one more stop after this. I suppose they're not too much different. So in NASCAR in 1970, there were a lot of different cars. Really, the rules were that you could run basically any stock American car that was built within the last 3 years. I gotta let some of these guys pit. This is scary. You could run any car that was built in the last 3 years. So you could run as old as a 68, I believe, and then obviously as new as a 70. And so there were Fords, there were Mercurys, there were Dodges, there were Plymouths, there were a couple Pontiacs, some Oldsmobiles. There was a lot of different cars. It's really fun to watch the old races because you'll see just how kind of eclectic the grid was. Raymond on the high side there. Raymond Williams, I think. Cecil Gordon ran that 47 and 69, but yeah, there were so many different makes and models of cars back then. In NASCAR Legends here, there's just 2 different shapes that the cars use. There's the Torino shape, which is like the 68 in front of us here. Larry Balmo. So there's that shape, and then there's the Chrysler shape, as I call it, which is for the Daytonas and the Superbirds, like Buddy Arrington's car in front here. So even though in real life those cars were different, I think somebody that doesn't really know what they're looking at probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Oh, buddy. Oh my God. Decided he was going to pit quite late there, bud. Oh my gosh. They want to get me today. If I survive this, I'm going to be really, really happy. We're just over third distance in this 100-lapper. Got cars coming in and out of the pit lane. It's chaos. Yeah, he just decided at the last second. He's like, I'm going to pit now. Oh, I'm scared going on the low side here, but I think these guys just came out of the pits, so we should be safe. Where are we up to? We're still in 15th. We're chasing Leroy Yarborough in front here. Yeah, Babe McIrvine. Uh-oh. Waiting for the yellow flag. Maybe a single car spin. Anyways, big crash.
Yellow flag is up. Go high.
It's Hassler again with Charlie Glass back there. All right, sneak around him. I think we might have to do a whole extra lap unless the leader hadn't crossed the line yet.
Road is closed.
So the big question is going to be, do we pit? Yeah, we got to do one more lap here. What a chaotic race so far. We're only 38 laps in. We're doing this as kind of a makeup round. We had a pretty bad time out at Talladega, so I'll have to rename the stream afterwards.
Pit road is closed.
All right, come across the line here. All right, so I think we got a pit, but the tires, I think I'll just change right sides. The lefts don't look too bad. And I don't think I'm going to fix the damage because it doesn't seem to be affecting me. So we'll pit, we'll get full fuel. That means we'll just need one more pit stop. And hopefully we can jump a few cars because of the tire change.
Pit road is now open.
Yeah, people are going to be all over the place. What's going to be bad about it is I'm not going to know when people are pitting. And they clearly like to fade quite late. Oh, a few cars are pitting. I'm going to do it. I think it's wise to pit because now we definitely only need one more stop now. Try not to rear end Petty here. Ah, man, what a chaotic race so far. All right, 61 laps to go. Whoa, see Emil Langley come flying into the pits. Come out right behind Bobby Allison, it looks like. Donnie's going to scoop out too. Maybe I can pass him. There we go. Thank you, Marco. Okay, Donnie.
Passed by 27 cars.
Yeah, wishful thinking there, bud. I love the look of that Banjo Matthews 27. It's a really just clean looking car. All right, so I'll come around here, nearing halfway in the race, but if everything goes green from here on out, we should have to pit with about 30 laps to go, hopefully. And then we'll make it to the end. We've got slightly worn left side tires, so I didn't change them, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna not even stay in the same line. we'll see if I can get through a restart without hitting anybody on the pace laps. So tricky. Yeah, I'm going to stay up high here so when they slam on the brakes, I won't hit anybody. I just have to be careful not to pass them either. Or get past. It's like Donnie wants his position here.
One more lap to green.
All right, everybody's going to split up into two rows here.
Stay on the outside line.
Everything is all mixed up now. Who's leading? It's like David Pearson's in the lead ahead of Bobby Isaac and Cale Yarborough up there. So we'll see if we can fight with him at any point. But for now, I'm just trying to avoid getting wrecked here under caution. It's been one of the trickier things to do today. It's a very mixed field now. All right, we're going to ride the very outside and hopefully avoid that checkup. Although we're going to be much further down the straight when it happens this time, so I don't know. This is going to be really difficult. I'm on the outside line, and turn one is not easy.
These cars in.
Don't check up. Don't check up.
Green flag, green flag,
Oh.
green flag.
I got him. Haha. I'm getting passed a lot on the inside by the lapped cars, but oh my god, I avoided it. All right, let's keep it nice and clean here. We'll just follow Bobby around. He's gonna get caught up behind Ed. We're in the danger zone right now. This is like the worst place to be, way back here. There goes Donnie. See if we can follow him through. I don't love the Ford logo on the bumper of Donnie Allison's car, but that's how it was. I so badly wanted to remove it because I just don't think it looks good, but they, for some reason, painted that on there. Oh, we'll get him down the front stretch. Oh, I'm going to play chicken with that wall. Nice and tidy. Side by side with Wendell Scott. We're chasing Bobby Allison's next car for position, though. And I'll, when I get a moment, I'll change back to see what position we're in. But I think we're about 15th place. So Donnie's going to squeak it in there. Man, tried to take us 3 wide for a minute. Should be able to pass some cars up the inside down the front stretch. That seems to be where I'm strongest, is right here. We just got to watch for cars pitting. That's going to be the big issue. This is a huge mix of lapped cars and cars on our lap. I'm 16th, Bobby here in front. I'll leave it on this for a little while, so you can see all the names. All right, just one car at a time. Pick our way through. Friday Hassler here on the outside. He's going to squeeze us down. Donnie once again is very racy. I think I've got his aggression quite high. I think Donnie was a pretty aggressive driver, so it fits. A little bit of dust being kicked up there. Nobody's pitting yet, but I'm sure it won't be that long until some cars start to pit. Got Earl Brooks here, is taking up my lane. No, I'm barely watching too. It is tense, but I'm making headways. I just gotta hope it goes green for a while. slide in behind Raymond here. Man, if I can get in front of this pack, I'm going to cheer for joy. I don't know why this isn't scrolling with me. 15th right now. Buddy Baker in that 6th, the red 6 car up there is the one in front of us, but Bobby Allison's right next to him too. And Donnie is just right on my bumper. All checked up on the outside. That's why I'm getting so many spots. They all get kind of stuck up there. Cecil Gordon luckily leaves me the lane here. Made up a huge amount of spots there. Up to 13th. Oh, is that Petty? No, I think it's Hamilton up there leaking oil or something. Oh boy. Slip underneath the doctor. What done? My God. They really don't love to give you that on the inside there. Just take it down the front stretch, though. All right, Charlie's stuck up behind Cuckoo. That's Sterling Marlin's father in the 07, right to my right. He did a fair number of races. I want to say maybe a dozen races in 1970. Frank Warren right in front of us. Just going to let him slide in front. All right, we're getting to the front of that pack. I've held my cool thus far. Oh, there goes Hamilton into the pits. And we're halfway into the race. It's all downhill from here. Jim Vandiver here in front. It's the car I crashed with at Talladega. Yeah, whenever they start smoking, they'll stay out for like 2 laps and then come in the pits, and then there's like a 50% shot that they'll fix it and he'll come back out or he'll retire. Which I wish that stuff happened much more in this game, because back in the 70s, especially the late 60s, early 70s, there was like a 50% failure rate for cars and teams finishing the races. All right, get up the inside of Vandiver here. I'm going to slide a little bit wide. Here comes Donnie. He's been waiting for this. All right, Donnie. Man, he's quick. Leaves us in 11th position. Tires doing? We're doing all right with tires. Oh, another car smoking. Hey, maybe I'm getting my wish that more cars are going to retire. Looks like James Hilton. Look at that. We've got a black flag him. Ben Arnold here. Blocking the lanes a little bit. See if we can scoop real low on the exit and get him. Oh, Charlie Glassback was right there. I didn't see him to the last second behind me. All right, Hilton goes into the pits. That's going to give me another spot. We might be right up near the top 10 now. Finally can take the proper line for once into the corner. We're in 10th, top 10. Chasing Donnie Allison in front. He's really quick, but Neil Castells is right in front of him. And I was faster than him earlier, so hopefully we can at least get ourselves a few positions up into that top 10. Yeah, use the apron to off-camber the car, de-wedge it. That's what it actually does, is it kind of de-wedges the suspension, so you can use that to hook around. It's something they do in short track racing quite a bit on tracks that have a good apron, and it works in the Sims too, even one this old. All right. Get around Bill here. I think there's been at least a couple engines this season that have gone bad in NASCAR, but literally a 40-car race back in 1970, 20 of the cars would retire with mechanical issues. And a whole bunch more would have issues that they would continue with and maybe be many, many laps down. Or there would really only be, at the most, a dozen cars that would compete and actually finish the race. Yeah, I wish you could adjust the failure rate for the AI. There is one setting in the track files that you can adjust to make cautions more frequent, and that does have an effect on retirements, not just from accidents. I've seen that more AI will retire. I think the setting literally controls like how often an AI messes up or has mechanical. But if you set it too high, you'll just have endless cautions, so you can't get it to a realistic number. All right, Glassback is looking high. I'm going to try to get underneath Neil here. Nobody's pitting yet. Oh, he's in the middle of the track. Glassback is looking high. Paint that white line on the bottom. There we go. Sneak in front of him. Try to run away before Glassback gets around him. You can turn off cautions, and when I race at Riverside in this, I usually do, because they did have full course cautions back in the day around there, but it's they're just too frequent in this. It really, really slows the races down. And back in 1970, they ran 500 miles at Riverside, so it was the longest race of the season by far. It was like a 6-hour race. Block Bots back there. All right, we're chasing Donnie. We're up in eighth spot, but I think I'm going to lose it here in a second to Castell or to Glassback behind me. Oh, he's not actually behind me. He's a lap down. All right, I don't really care then. Yeah, they shortened the Riverside race in the mid-70s. I want to say 76 to be 500 kilometers, because the 500-mile road race is nuts. I mean, we did that over the summer with iRacing with the Road America 500 miles, and
Okay, the leader's on pit road.
even in those insane cars and on a track as fast as Road America, that was still like a 4-hour race. So, all right, leaders on pit road apparently, picking up some spots. Got Buddy Baker right behind me. This is for position now with Buddy. Yeah, there were a lot of races shortened in the 70s due to the gas crisis, but Riverside was one that was permanently shortened. And I have to think it wasn't just the crisis that made it that way. It's just a 500-mile road race is crazy. All right, we're up to third, chasing Petty and Allison, and I think they're on my strategy. This is going to be interesting to see how it works out. I kind of hope it goes green to the end so we can see it play out.
There's a spin
Uh-oh.
in turn 2. Yellow flag.
Ah, God. Of course. All right.
Road is closed.
Well, I don't know, how many laps do we have to go? 38. It's going to be like just out of range. Got Jabe Thomas here. Jabe, who was leading at Talladega for a minute for some reason. His son Ronnie Thomas ended up racing in NASCAR in the 80s. All right, come around, get that yellow flag, and I'll have to look at what we want to do in the pits. I don't know. Do we just stay out? Depends on how bad my tires are. I'm gonna get the luxury of seeing directly. They're pretty worn. It would be a stretch to go from here to the end on this set of tires, but we could stay out right now. Don't want to repair. I mean, we're not going to make it to the end if we pit for fuel. All right, I think I'm going to pit to change tires. It would be interesting to stay out, but we have an opportunity here to get 4 new tires, and I don't think these tires would last. Oh, come on.
There's a spin on the front straight.
Looks like Buddy Baker got confused behind me there. I stopped just short. I got to end this poll, but I like how Trenton was no longer the top one. Yeah, I just can't bank on there being another yellow. There comes Donnie. I would love to get in front of Donnie. He's just so fast. Might be my only opportunity to pass him. All right, so 36 laps to go. We might just make it on fuel. All right, Donnie. I'm gonna be really easy on the throttle here under yellow. It's gonna be so close that I mean, we're definitely not gonna take tires if we pit. We're not gonna fix damage if we pit. And we'll do a splash and go if we have to, but hopefully it's I don't know, hopefully it stays green from here on out. But if we get another yellow, we'll definitely make it to the end, so. This is fun. It's a quirky game. It's definitely not perfect. It's a long way from perfect, but it's still a lot of. I find doing races in this are fun for the historical aspect of it, or even if the racing itself isn't that good, it's fun that you have this strategy element and you can try to figure that out. And I had a really good time painting all the cars for this, and all the other seasons too. It's cool to see it all kind of come to life and to have a full grid of cars that at least look somewhat uniform. Because a lot of these cars did exist for this game, and it's definitely no disrespect to anybody that painted cars, but the resources that existed 20 years ago, 25 years ago on the internet to figure out the paint schemes and the tools and stuff, like, we can just do a better job now with all of that. So I feel pretty confident that most of these cars are fairly accurate to their real life ones. But if anybody does see anything that's off, definitely let me know, because I'd love to make it perfect.
Stay on the outside line.
Yeah, I painted all the cars that we're racing against today. I painted them, and it's available in the description. I put a link to my website with. I launched a little vintage sim download repository for just some different files that I've made. So I made car sets for this for 68, 69, and now 70. So we've got some fun cars to race against. All right, coming to green, 34 laps to go, and it's gonna be really tight to make it on fuel. Here's my fuel thing. We'll see. We got 21 gallons. It says we can make it, but we're under caution right now. We'll just try to get through this restart nice and clean, and see where that puts me. Sitting in 6th position, not so bad. Almost died there. We're gonna watch the big checkup here.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Cuckoo's gonna slide up in front of me. There's a few spots on this start, but he's got to be safe with it. There's Donnie up the inside. Slot in behind Cuckoo here. Oh, he checks up a little bit. Donnie's thinking about coming high, but I'm going to squeeze myself up there, man. See if we can rock this high line. Donnie's on the inside. We'll squeeze him in. Well, that worked out for me somehow. All right. Trying to get ahead of these lapped cars, put some distance between myself and Donnie behind. I didn't know I could actually make a pass on the outside through there. All right, Henley Gray on the right there. Definitely laps down. Got Richard Petty's the car in front of me. It's always a good sign when you're actually racing Richard Petty for position late in a race. 32 laps to go. I know you can make 32 laps on a tank of fuel, but can we do... It says we're going to be able to make it. This might be really good for me. Push a little bit wide into turn one. Donnie's back. He's so quick, but I've been able to stay in front of him through traffic and stuff. We get Dave Marcus here down into turn one. Try to anyway. Keep my eyes peeled on that mirror for Donnie. He's just so much faster. It's like impossible to keep him behind. Just to hope he gets slowed up in traffic. Alright, so that slots us back to 7th. Still good. I mean, I started 13th here. I think we were just fast enough to get into the top 10, so we're still doing really well. It's actually quite good. The AI have some major issues around here, especially under yellow, but once you get going, it's not too bad. All right, we're following Jim Vandiver, but it's Bobby Isaac that's actually in front of us here. I have to imagine somebody in the top 5 is going to have to pit before the end, so maybe we're en route for a top 5, but we'll have to see. Isaac's battling with Donnie Allison just right in front of us. We've got a few lapped cars. Yeah, the 2 red cars up there is who I'm actually chasing for position. And we've got these 3 not so slow lapped cars in front. Oh, I'm understeering a lot there. Behind Vandiver. It's tough to get alongside because you're taking the long way around the dog leg there. Now here comes Buddy Baker behind me. Oh, Glassback goes into the pits. We'll get Vandiver here down the front stretch, hopefully. All right, GC Spencer then. Baker. I tried to run a little bit wide into the corner to force him out there. Yeah, the wing definitely did a lot. There was a front splitter on the car too, so both the Daytona and the Plymouth had the wing as well as a front splitter, and the wing itself in the back was tunable, so that they could change the angle of it to suit the track. But yeah, I guess it did work. For 1971, there were actually still some winged cars, but the reason you didn't see them is NASCAR mandated that the engine size be much smaller for these types of cars. So I think Dick Brooks ran one in the 500, and he was actually up front for a little bit of it. But by and large, they disappeared from NASCAR after 1970 completely. And you'd see winged cars in USAC stock car for quite a few years, 72, 73 even. But then USAC stock cars started to go away as well, so it just kind of, that was the end of the winged car era. Manufacturers pulled out support of NASCAR after 71 completely, so. Well, the Plymouths and Dodge Daytonas didn't dominate every race in 1970. The Ford Torino is the whole reason why Dodge and Chrysler as a whole made the winged cars, because the Torino had a pretty aerodynamic shape to it, and it was still quite a successful car even in 1970. With the Wood brothers and David Pearson and Junior Johnson's team, all winning races. All right, Buddy Baker is right on me now, and I'm definitely not fast enough on pace to stay in front of, or to pass Bobby Isaac. I just really missed turn one there. Here comes Baker. Babe gives it up in turn number one. Back to eighth. Bobby Allison's behind us, but he's 3 seconds back. Charlie Glotzback is technically behind me on the track, but he's a lapped car, so I'm not going to worry too much about him. Yeah, they would have run the winged cars on this track, and there's some funny stories of drivers taking the winged cars to various races. Like Dave Marcus famously took his Dodge Daytona to Martinsville, and I have seen a picture of it before. I couldn't find it recently, but there's pictures of him racing his Dodge Daytona around Martinsville, and I'm pretty sure he took the nose off of it pretty quickly. All right, we're 20 laps to go. Appreciate folks tuning in today. It's just kind of a random thing. This is what I've been doing lately. For a few weeks now, I've been painting all these cars and stuff, and wanted to put something up on YouTube. So I appreciate folks tuning in. Hopefully fun. Wasn't the race I planned to do, but this has been a pretty entertaining one. And we'll see how it plays out here toward the end. Hopefully I can hold on to this top 10. It seems like I am pulling away from Bobby Allison, so we might have bottomed out here in 8th place. But hopefully a couple cars in front of us have to do that splash and go. I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine to make it to the end. It says 23 more laps, so we should be all right, but we'll see. That's not a stupid question, Paul. I I have no plans to not do the 66, finish the 66 series. I simply have to do it. I know it's been over a year. I got reminded everything I post I know people like it. I don't know. Haven't felt like doing it. That's the honest answer. But I feel very grateful that people want me to do something. That's a very nice thing that people like some videos and stuff I've made enough that they are excited to see the next one. So yeah, I'll do it at some point, hopefully soon. All right, 17 laps to go. We're in a little bit of a hole here. We got nobody around us, so hopefully just hammer these laps home. Yeah, we're in the final stage. Got a little pack of cars ahead. I don't know if that'll do anything, but yeah, I can see some lap traffic. Now I'm starting to make driving errors. I was driving way too deep into turn one there. Yeah, I suppose I'll watch the NASCAR finale tonight. It's unfortunate. It's turned it a little bit into hate watching for me. I'm not enjoying NASCAR this season, but it's what's on tonight, so you know. Oh no, John, you're not missing anything. Yeah, for folks tuning in, we're just at the end of this half distance race at Trenton. I had a bit of an accident during Talladega, so rather than run 20 miles an hour off the pace for the rest of the race, we decided to do a different race somewhere else. Yeah, I don't enjoy hate watching something. I've actually stopped watching Formula One. I don't keep up with it anymore, and I don't know. I've been enjoying the short track racing a lot more. So I gotta finish MotoGP or catch back up. I'm quite a few rounds behind, but I do like watching MotoGP these days. All right, we'll get underneath these guys. So these are all lap cars, but there's something exciting to do here for the final few laps. So JD McDuffie's having an epic battle with Frank Warren here, as they do. Oh, we're chasing Benny Parsons now. 7 seconds. Let's see if we're catching him. So we're going to need 16. Yeah, we should be good on fuel. So last lap around, I was 7.1 seconds off Benny Parsons. Let's see where I'm at this time. 5.5. Oh, that's a lot. Maybe he got caught in some traffic, but let's keep on it. that type of rate will definitely catch him. The car in front of me is Friday Hassler, so it's not. But I can see there's a huge pack of lap traffic ahead. So.
10 to go.
Oh, did my wheel cam freeze again? It did that earlier on. I can't fix it without pausing, so we'll just keep it. We'll just keep it for now. All right, we are 4.5 seconds. I gained a second on that lap. Try not to throw it away here in the first corner. At least it's frozen with me turning left, because that's, you know, it's appropriate. I can't even see. Where is he? I'll get underneath Friday here, the exit. I can see him. He's on the high lineup. He's so many cars in front of me. This is going to be tough. I didn't gain on him at all last lap, but we'll see what I can do. Cut through traffic here. I think he just got in front of all of it, though. Right up to Earl Brooks here. Some cars pitting. Oh, some cars pitting. That's Isaac. Oh, that's Isaac and Parsons. Skill alone. I think we're going to be looking pretty nice. Oh my God, 6th place and the leaders are pitting. Let's see here. I don't know. I think there's at least one car in front of me on my strategy, so, but it looks like it's paying off so far. Come on. Come on, let me sneak underneath Henley Gray. Hopefully he doesn't pit. I don't see anybody exiting the pits. John Sears leaves me the inside. We're in 6th position. Is that going to be it? It might be it. I see us. Oh, is that Petty? Yeah, top 5. 4th. Bill Sherry here running wide. It's definitely one of the real slow cars. Up to 4th position though. David Pearson's leading it. Just got 5 laps to go. Man. We'll see if anybody comes up behind me here in the final.
Just 5 more to go. Keep it up.
Final few laps. If we'll pick up any more spots with cars pitting, I don't know. I think Donnie's at least Donnie is on my strategy, if not a few other cars. Yeah, nobody in the pits this time. 8.2 seconds off of Kale. And we got Richard Petty's behind me, about 4 seconds. We should be able to keep him there. 4 laps to go. Ride that apron. Yeah, it seems like maybe these 3 in front are going to go the distance. But it still has worked out for me pretty well. I'm happy I pitted when I did. It would have pitting under green. Yeah, we know the steering cam froze. We'll just round out the race. Our Bill champion here. Let me in. Yeah, I can't unfreeze it without stopping the hitting pause. So we will leave it as it is. All right, just 2 laps to go. Bring this home in 4th. I think, all things considered, I think I crashed once. We had so much trouble through lap traffic. We definitely were not quick enough to finish 4th. I'll take it. Lead lap finishes are always good. A good points day.
White flag. 1 more to go.
All right, we'll come get that white flag. I absolutely love the graphics of the flag man in this game, and NASCAR 3 as well. I think it looks more realistic than even like the 3D guy they use for iRacing and stuff. Just the way he waves the flag and everything, it looks perfect. Look at that. That looks like real life. All right, last lap though. Wendell Scott here in front. Should be able to get him on the exit of the kidney bean. Down into turns 4 and 5. For the final time. There we go. Finish up here behind Cuckoo Marlin and Joe Frasson. Yeah, not a bad little race that. See, you can have fun with this game when you really have a lot of patience with the AI. We'll come across the line, get the checkered flag for a 4th place finish. Yeah, I don't know why my cams are freezing. I think I've got a lot going on with the lossless scaling and all that stuff. So I was a little late to start the stream because of that. But nice. Fun little race that. After the disappointment with Talladega, get a 4th place. We'll look at the results in a second. Look at the results here in just a second. It's jarring when you look at it at 30 FPS after the 60 of lossless scaling. But there it is. Disappointment. See, I feel like having a newspaper that would be somewhere slightly more more positive than this would be nice, but that's what they give you. Unless you win, this is what you get. All right, let's look at the results and everything. There they are. David Pearson is our winner. In his Holman and Moody Ford. Had a Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough. Iconic names. Interesting that we're actually the first of the Chrysler cars, Dodges or Plymouths. Babe McIrvine. I like that name. I don't know, Kringle, where you got that, but I'm taking it. Babe McIrvine finishes in 4th ahead of Richard Petty. Anytime you can beat the king. Bobby Allison, RIP, finishes in 6th. After a 5th place start. Good run for Bobby. Lead lap finish. Buddy Baker, Neil Castells, and Bobby Isaac all finish on the lead lap. If we look further back then, Benny Parsons finishes in 10th, 1 lap down, ahead of Elmo Langley, Leroy Yarborough, Dick Brooks, Jim Vandiver, G.C. Spencer, Charlie Glotzback, Dave Marcus, Jabe Thomas, Dr. Don Tarr, and Joe Frasson, who we saw just in front of us at the end, finishes in 20th. Cuckoo Marlin back in 21st ahead of Wendell Scott. Bill Seifert ahead of Bill Champion, Bill and Bill, 23rd and 24th. John Sears in 25th ahead of Raymond Williams. Buddy Arrington, Earl Brooks, Larry Baumel, Frank Warren, J.D. McDuffie, J.D. McDuffie's in 31st. Frank Warren rounds out the top 30. So J.D. McDuffie, Ed Negri, Bill Shurry, who we saw towards the end as well, Henley Gray, Friday Hassler. Oh, it looks like Friday Hassler is the final finisher. And just 5 DNFs. Ben Arnold with an electrical failure, and then 4 gearbox failures with James Hilton, Pete Hamilton, who we saw pretty early on, trailing some smoke, Cecil Gordon, and Rookie of the Year for 1970, Bill Dennis and his Chevrolet. Nice. Hope that was fun to watch. I had a good time. I really like NASCAR Legends it's a fun, kind of more relaxing simulator type game. And it was a lot of fun to put this Carset together. Thank you, Punch a Waterfall, for the membership. 19 months. I saw Ascari earlier. It's like 34 months. It's crazy. Yeah, hope it was entertaining though, and I will definitely be back soon with some more stuff. I would like to do a video soon on a few things. Got some ideas for that, but if not that, it'd be something else. I'm gonna get back to the IndyCar 2 season. I'm gonna get back to the 1966 series at some point, but maybe not next. But they will be happening at some point. But yeah, hope folks enjoyed. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I guess I'll see you on the next one, whatever it is. Have a good one.